Well, hello everyone. I hope and pray that you're doing well. Here you can see I'm out in the woods, in the snow. It has a bit of a Narnia feel to it. You can imagine off in the distance there's a lamppost with light kind of leading you along. I didn't realize actually how dark it would feel out here in the twilight here in the forest. Anyways, a lot of you are excited about our Advent in Narnia series, and a lot of you have appreciated the work that the visuals folks have done in the sanctuary, and you're a little bit sad that you can't see it and be part of it each week. So I encourage you to get out into the forest. Lots of you have been reading the Chronicles of Narnia as well, some for the first time, some for up to the 15th time. Some of you are watching the movies too, and I talked with a few people that are actually watching a number of versions of the movies to compare and contrast them. Anyways, all that to kind of introduce us to our theme even today, and it comes from John chapter 1 verse 5, where we read, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it." And I'm borrowing a little bit from this book, Advent in Narnia, a devotional by Heidi Haverkamp, and so a big chunk of today's message comes from it. And you know, here we are. I am in the forest, and we expect to see, you know, evergreen trees and snow, and in Advent glowing lights and those kind of things. We see that outdoors. We see that in stores. We see those kinds of things on Christmas cards. But Lucy, in the book, is surprised to see this light glowing through these snowy trees when she walks through the wardrobe. And she gets so curious about that light that she spends 10 minutes walking towards it. And a lamppost in the forest is that familiar image if you know the Narnia books. But it's meant to be surprising that she comes across this lamppost. And Lewis leaves it unexplained in the novel, but in a different one, a different novel in the same series, we learn that it grew from an earthly lamppost, which was used as a weapon by the White Witch, and then transformed into this lonely but shining light by Aslan. And when Lucy comes into Narnia, Mr. Tumnus tells her that the lamppost is a boundary between Narnia and the wild woods of the West. And then in the last chapter of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the children come upon again the lamppost, and they don't recognize it, but they notice how old it is, and that it's dwarfed by all these ancient trees around it. And somehow the lamppost is a living thing. No one lights it, right? And no one extinguishes it, and it burns without fuel. The White Witch's winter hasn't snuffed out the lamppost. And it's a boundary, but it's also a promise that Aslan can make broken things new and alive. I wonder if in your home you have Christmas lights up, or maybe you have an Advent wreath or some Advent candles that you light regularly during this season. And maybe there's a place that you'd like to see Christmas lights hung. Think about Advent and looking ahead, and think about the lamppost as the beacon in the face of this dark, cold spell that lies on the whole land of Narnia. And then think of Advent and the Christmas lights, and that they shine with that same kind of light, right? Jesus, the light of the world, shining in the darkness of despair and sin and death. And Jesus shines a light that, like a lamppost, was there in the beginning with God. And a light that was broken and made new in the resurrection. And a light that shines through the darkness on all people. And a light that beckons us to be curious and to come and see. And so, friends, may the peace and the light of Christ be with you all.